And we're going to walk through page 101 and 102 together, and then I'm going to let you try 103 on your own. Make sure that you're practicing these strategies, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in our Google Meet. You also remember that at the end of this video or end of this lesson today, you're going to go into Padlet and you're going to answer the question to show me your understanding of what we've done today. All right, for Spark Your Learning, a pint contains 24 strawberries. How can you show the number of strawberries in 3 pints? Draw a visual model to represent the problem. So remember, visual model is just another fancy way of saying draw a picture. Show me what you know. We know that each pint has 24 strawberries. We want to find out how many strawberries are in 3 pints. So I'm creating equal groups here. So I'm going to draw 3 equal groups, and they're going to represent my 3 pints. So we've got group 1, group 2, and group 3. And then within each pint or each group, we're going to show that there are 24 strawberries. Now there's different ways to do this. I think for just saving time today, I'm going to actually use base 10 blocks to draw base 10 blocks. I know that my number is 24, so I know that I need 2 10s and 4 1s in each group. Now another way that you could do this, and if you had the time and you wanted to do it, there's nothing wrong with that, is just drawing pictures. You can draw 24 apples or 24 circles that represent your apples. But just for time's sake on this, I just wanted to show you that this is one way to represent the problem above. So make sure you have this written down in your book. Now we're going to move on to page 102 in your math workbook, 102. So as you can see already, Module 5 is just a little bit easier than Module 4 was. So we're going to take a break from using those brain cells just a little bit. Still got to make them work. All right, so let's look at build understanding together. A standard apple tree can grow 13 bushels of apples. How can you use base 10 blocks to show the number of bushels 2 standard apple trees can grow? So, good thing we use base 10 blocks on Spark Your Learning. So now we already have had practice with that. We're going to continue. Now, remember, drawing a quick picture, they want you to remember that you're not focused on the artwork here. Don't spend too much time making it look fancy. You want to be able to show that using base 10 blocks, the numbers, the number of apples that 2 trees can grow. So let's go back and look at our problem. A standard apple tree can grow 13 bushels of apples. So a standard apple tree, that means 1 apple tree, can grow 13. They want to find out how many apples 2 apple trees can grow. So for our quick picture today, we're going to use base 10 blocks. Now, when you were in 2nd grade and maybe even 3rd grade, you drew your 10s standing up like this. Okay, so for today's purpose, you can continue to do that, or you can draw your base 10 blocks or your groups of 10s laying down, because we are going to create equal groups and almost build something that looks like an array. Remember, we talked about how you can use arrays to help you solve your multiplication problems. So for today's purpose, I'm going to draw my base 10 blocks laying down, okay? So let's go back and look at our problem. 1 apple tree can grow 13 bushels of apples. So I'm going to draw 13 with base 10 blocks. So we've got 10, 1, 2, 3. So that shows 13. Well, I'm trying to show how many 2 apple trees can grow. So I'm going to draw another set of 13. 10, 1, 2, 3. So there's my quick picture to show that 2 apple trees can grow 13 bushels of apples. So there's my quick picture. All right, let's look down at number 2. Well, before we look at number 2, what would be our equation? Let's not forget to put our equation in. We know that there are 2 apple trees, and each apple tree grows 13 bushels. And then what would our answer be? Our answer would be 26. Okay, let's always remember to put our equation in there. Now, let's look down at the bottom, so make sure you have this written down. You may have to pause the video and go, or rewind the video just a little bit, back up a little bit so you can get those answers. All right, let's look at number 2. The guacamole recipe uses avocados. Each avocado has 234 calories. How many calories in the guacamole are from the avocados? So, you're going to have to use this picture, this recipe here, to help you draw a quick picture. So, we're talking about avocados, so all this other stuff in the recipe we don't really need, but it's there, but we don't need any of it. All we're focused on is the avocados in our recipe. So we know that each avocado has 234 calories. So we're thinking of, let's go ahead and build our equation. We're thinking of 3 avocados, and each avocado has 234 calories. So they want us to find out how many calories in the guacamole come from the 3 avocados. So we're going to draw some quick pictures here. Now remember, I told you earlier on the number 1 that we're kind of building an array here, so we want to kind of set everything up so that it's lined up with the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So I'm going to start with the first avocado. It has 234 calories. So we're going to draw 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 4 ones. And we're going to do that 3 times because we're multiplying by 3. So we're going to do that 2 more times. And you see how I'm lining up my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. There's our purpose for that. There's a reason. Okay, now, we've created our equation, we've drawn our quick picture, now we can easily solve the equation, and we're going to do that on the next page. So let's flip over to page 103, and we're going to continue to use this problem. All right, let's look at A. How can you use place value and base 10 blocks to find the number of calories in 3 avocados? So how do we use place value and base 10 blocks to find out the number of calories? Well, we use the base 10 blocks to represent the number of calories in each avocado. So you could say that you have 3 groups of, we made 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 4 ones. So we had 3 groups of 200s, 3 tens, and 4 ones. Then, what are we going to do to find the number of calories in all 3 of those? You would add. So we could add and I'm going to abbreviate this here just for space reasons. We could add the hundreds, the tens, and the ones together to find our answer. So I would add the hundreds, tens, and ones together to find our answer. All right, look at B. How can you write a multiplication equation for the base 10 block representation? So how would we write a multiplication equation for the base 10 block pictures that we drew? Well, we knew that our equation was 3 times 234. So we want to divide that up. We want to break it up. And we said we had 3 groups of 200, 3 groups of 3 tens, and 3 groups of 4 ones. So we're going to break that and use expanded form. So we're going to say 3 times 200. We're going to say 3 times 30, and then 3 times 4. So 3 times 200 is 600, plus 3 times 30 is, messed up there. Fix that. Is 90. And then 3 times 4 is 12. And we add all of those together. And we get 702. So we know that there are 702 calories in all 3 of those guacamoles. So we're using the idea of expanded form to help us solve this problem.